Hi and welcome to this updates section. So in this section, I'm going to look at the new Mailmunch features, and the features we're going to look at are broadcasts. We're also going to look at landing pages, and I'm also going to show you how to use the Mailmunch WordPress plugin. So log into Mailmunch, and when you log in, make sure you go into the website where you want to make the forms or you want to create the broadcasts and the landing pages. So when you get to the dashboard area, you can see this is how it looks like, and we are going to look at broadcasts and we're going to look at landing pages. You're going to see how to create landing pages and how to create broadcasts. I'm going to look at both of them in detail so that you can understand exactly how to create a broadcast and how to create a landing page. So I'll see you in the next video, and in the next video, we're going to start by looking at broadcasts. Hi and welcome. So we're going to start by looking at broadcasts, and for this section about broadcasts and landing pages, I'm going to use this page as a sample for all the content I'm going to need. So if I need any content, I'm going to get it from this page, and that is just so that I don't get to type, okay? So this is going to be the theme for my broadcast and my landing page, this Bluehost tutorial. So if I come back here, and if you want to create a new broadcast, you'll just click on broadcasts to create a new broadcast. And if you want to check out landing pages, you will just go into forms, and under forms, there's a button that says create new. So you can choose whether to create a new form or to create a new landing page. So we're going to start by creating a broadcast, and I'll just click on broadcast to get started. So you can see I don't have any broadcasts, and to create my first, I'll just create a broadcast. So just in brief, first of all, you're going to choose the template, and then we're going to work on the content of the broadcast, and you're going to edit the subject, and then we're going to choose the audience, that is, who do you want to send it to, and then finally we're going to finalize by sending it. So it's also important to note that broadcast is not really free, okay? You're going to create it, but in the end, when you get here, you're going to see that you have to upgrade for you to actually send the broadcast. So a broadcast is just as the name suggests, okay? You can send an email to your subscribers. Think of it as a newsletter. So you're going to see here that in the end, you're not going to be able to send this broadcast if you're on the free plan. And I think they should tell you that in advance. I don't see anywhere where it tells you that. So you might get disappointed once you create this and you realize, oh, I can't even send this out because I'm using the free plan. But you're going to deal with that when we get there. So I'll choose this template. All right, so there's the template. So just a brief overview of this editor. Here we have the content. This is what you're going to drag over here if you want to create something. Like if you want to create a button, you're going to drag this anywhere here to enable you create the button. If you want to add text elements, you're going to drag that over there, and you're going to add your text in there. If you want to create, let's go back to content. If you want to add any form of code, let's say you have maybe a pop-up that you want to add on this form. Okay, you can't add a pop-up because it's going to people's emails, but if there's some form of code that you want to add, you'll just drag this here and you'll put your code inside of that. And we also have the divider. So the divider, maybe you want to create space between these two. You're just going to add that, and then you come here and you edit it based on the size. If you want it to be maybe a thick line, you want no line, and then you can increase the padding of that using this, so you can add spacing between elements. So, and if you also want to add an image, you just drag the image in the image block in there, and you'll be able to upload your image. Okay, we also have this rows. So maybe you want to create two rows whereby there's some content this side and there's some content this side. You're going to use the rows to do that. Maybe you want to create something that has 4 rows. Maybe you want an image there, an image, another image, and another image. You're going to use this to design your template the way that you want. Okay, so we also have this body, and on the body you can just increase the width of your email, and you can also change the background. For some reason you love red, you want to use that maroon reddish color, you can change that there. So that's just a brief overview of how you can use this template area to design your email the way that you want. So let's just start by deleting all this. Delete. So you can use a GIF. There are certain applications online that you can use to create the GIFs. All right, let's get started designing our broadcast. You may want to add your logo. So if I want to add my logo, I'll just drag in that over there, and then I will come this side to upload an image, and let me find a logo. And if you want to do a salutation, you can see here we have this, so you can personalize it. Let's say that your list has a first name and a last name, and you want to address people using their names. What you're going to do is you're going to come here, and you'll use this personalize menu, and you can add any of these other elements which you have in your list. Okay, so if you have a last name, a first name, any of this, you can just add it here and utilize it accordingly. So you can add any text in here that you want. Let's say I just want to let people know about my new course. Hey, first name. My list doesn't have a first name, so I'm just going to remove that. And then I can just copy the title, and I want to paste it as plain text. And of course I want to increase the font of this one. Let's make it maybe 24. And what else can I change over here? Maybe I should link to it. Let's say I want to link to it. I can link to it so that people can just click on it and get to it immediately. So if I add a link, paste in the link that you want in there, and then you can give it a title. This is what people will see when they hover over the link. And then the target, of course, you want it to open in a new window. Then okay. And then of course I want to change this image. So if I come here and I can just click on upload. So for some reason the image won't complete uploading. So when you encounter issues like this, because you're going to encounter them where this editor becomes unresponsive, or you just see weird issues. So what's going to happen, what you can do is you can just save. And of course, once you save, it's going to take you into the next step. And of course, we don't want that. We'll just go back to content. Okay, since I can't go back without filling all this, let me just fill this, and then we're going to go back here. So of course, you're going to experience issues like this. At some point, it's going to become unresponsive. And you just have to do what you have to do. If you have to click this to go to the next step and then finish up with that and then come back, then that's what you're going to have to do to make sure that everything works out according to how you want them to be. So here under subject, you'll write the subject. In my case, the subject is this. Copy. And then you can see that you can also personalize this if you want to personalize it with the names or whatever you want to use for the salutation here. Maybe you're saying, hey Joe, here is a coupon for you. Hey Jane, here is a tutorial for you, something like that. And then the sender information, you write your name and then your email. So you're not going to have things like this. If this is your first time sending this, you're going to have to at least confirm the email. So you're going to type the email here, and then a pop-up like this is going to show up. Something like this is going to show up asking you if you want to add that email. And once you add it, just click on it and it is going to ask you to confirm the email. Down here, there will be a link to confirm the email. And once you confirm the email, you're going to click on the button to confirm. And once you choose whichever email you choose here, is going to work for you. So it has to be confirmed. Okay, that's very important. If it is not confirmed, this is not going to work. So I can just go back. So you see, this means that the email is not verified. And if you want to verify it, just click on resend confirmation email. So it will send the confirmation to you, and in your email, click on confirm. And once you confirm that email, you can just come down here and select it. And once you save, you're not going to receive this error. So this email is not confirmed, but this other one is confirmed. So if I click back, it's going to work. So we are back here and I want to continue editing this email. And the last thing that I tried to do that wasn't successful was I tried to replace the image, and this didn't work. So let me upload the image once again. And this time around, you see, everything works out fine. So you're going to experience issues like this. And the thing that you can do is just, go to the next step and then come back. It will work. But I think they should add a button that enables me to save without really having to go to the next step. So there, I've added the image. And if you want to add anything, just remember that this is going into people's emails and you have to tell them the information that you want to tell them in the best way possible. Like in this case, this place, I could have added a button instead of adding this link because this doesn't look really well. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to change this into a button once I add the content down here. And the content that I want to add is, I'll just come here and copy this entire thing. I can just add it along with this other text. So if I copy it, just the way I've copied it, it's going to come with the styles, and I don't want it to come with the styling. So I want it to copy as plain text, and you can see it is bold because the elements which were already in here were bold. So if you don't want it to be bold, just select it again. And remove bold, and it will just make it like that. If you want this to be list items, like in my case, these are just manual listing, but if you want it to be list items, you just select them and then you choose the kind of list that you want it to be, either bulleted or numbered lists. Okay, so I don't want this lists. I'll just use my manual listing. So let's say that's all I want to send out to my subscribers. Okay, but of course, let me change this into a button. So let me just delete it, and I will go back into content. I will drag in a button and I'll click on that button. And on this side, you see I can add a URL. Let me take the URL from there, copy. And then if I come back here, I will paste that in there, paste, and open in a new tab. And of course, I want the colors to be matching with my branding. So what I'll do is I can change the background color of the button to this color or this color. And I'm using this add-on on my browser, which is Opera. I know most people are using Chrome, and most developers love Firefox. So if you're using Chrome, of Firefox, there's a plugin called Colorzilla. Just download it and you can use it to select colors on your web page. So it doesn't work exactly like this, but this is the one I could get for Opera. Opera is not as famous as those other browsers, so it doesn't have lots of plugins. So I'm just going to select this one and then copy and then close. So if I click on background inside here, I can put in the color of the button and I can change the hover color. Hover color, this is a color that people are going to see when they hover their mouse over the button. So for this, let's say I want it to be a little bit darker, a darker shade. When somebody hovers, the color should change to be darker. Like you see, that one changes to be light green. I want this one to be a darker shade of that color. So if you want to make this to be a bigger button, let's increase the padding at the top and then padding at the bottom as well to be 15. I'll just come here into this padding and the left, let me just take it all the way up to wherever I want it. And then this one as well, this one 60. Rounded border, if you want to add a border, rounded border, you can add that, maybe 3. If you want to go really far, but I usually like it at 5 pixels. Okay, yeah, you can increase the text here. There. Okay, Control Z, and I want to paste it as a plain text. So if your browser is not like mine and it doesn't have that option that allows you to remove all the styles of anything you copy, you can just use Notepad. If you're on Windows, you can use Notepad. If you're on Mac, you can get something like this. This will remove the styling once you paste it in there, and then you just copy it back here. It will remove all the styles, and that's usually a big problem, especially if you write your content in a word processor like Microsoft Word and you copy things in here. You're going to find that it comes with the styles. So if you want to remove those styles, you just paste it inside of Notepad or any equivalent of Notepad. And then down here you can see you're receiving the email because of this. These are things that you won't be able to change this, but it works by default. When the email is sent out, it's going to work. So I'm assuming this is only here because this is a free plan. So maybe if you upgrade, this won't be there. So if I click on this button, I want to duplicate it so that I can have it down. So let's say I want it here. If you want it to be aligned on this side or this side, you can change that here. I saw that somewhere here. You can just come and align it on this side or align it to the right, depending on how you want to align it. So once I design it, the next step, of course, is to send it. So this one as well, let me align that to the left. So you can write your email, design it however you want. Just come here and utilize all of this. Maybe you want to add something else here. You can just come here, add the rows, and when you add the rows, you can also change the background colors for your rows. You can change the padding on all the sides. You can have a background image. If you want an image here, let's say that we want this to have a background image. So let's say here we want to add some text. Delete. I want to add the text inside here. And you can see the image is not working well with the coloring of the text. So you can change the text color And once you select everything, you change the text color to white or whichever color you want to use. Maybe this side you want to add an image. You'll just drag the image block, click on it, upload your image. So you can see this is almost the same image. That's why it's not visible. But you get the idea. You can have a background image and then you add your text right there. So that's it for this one. And if you want to go to the next step, you'll just save and continue. We already filled this, so we don't need to do anything else here. I'll just save and continue. Okay, so the next process is you're going to choose the list that you want to send this email to. If you want to send it to a particular list, you'll select lists and then you choose the lists that you want to send it to. Or if you want to send it to a segment, you can choose a segment. So if you want to create a segment, you'll just come here. You'll just click on this create. Don't click it here because it will close this. You can open it in a new tab and you're going to create your segment. And when you reload the page, you can choose a segment. So for me, I want to create it as a list. Maybe I'll look at how to create segments in another video. So I want to send it to this and I'll just click on save and continue. So you can see here, you can't send it if you haven't upgraded. This is a premium feature and we've added a subject line, we've added reply to, and then from address. If you haven't upgraded, you cannot change where the email has come from, and it will come from Mailmunch. So if you want to change this, you're going to have to upgrade your account, and you can send yourself a test email just to see how it is. Once you've at least confirmed one email address, it will be listed here when you click on send, and you can send yourself a test just to see how your email is looking like before you send it to people. So you have to know if everything is right. Just click the email, send it to yourself, and confirm that the email is actually okay. And if you need to edit anything, you'll just click on content and go back, edit anything that you want to edit in your email. When you click on finish, it's going to get saved under your broadcasts, and you can edit it, you can reuse it, and you can even duplicate it. Okay, so when you create a nice one, you can duplicate it and use it for more and more broadcasts that you want to send out. So let's click on this premium. So if I click on add premium, I can see I can do broadcasts, campaign reports, and this. So I won't get this, I won't get this, I won't get this, and that is for if I pay for 1 month, I can add the premium features for this. So what I'll do is when I'm doing landing pages, I'm going to add this, but for this is not really necessary because there's nothing much that comes after this. Once you've created it, you can send it. So if you want to send yours, you're going to have to upgrade for this $5 a month. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. You can use Mailchimp, which is free. If you have 2,000 subscribers, you can send your campaigns for free. Okay, a limited number of campaigns for free to your 2,000 subscribers. So you can use Mailmunch to collect your subscribers and use Mailchimp to send them campaigns. If you don't know how to use Mailchimp, I have a very detailed course on how to use Mailchimp, extremely detailed. I created it in 2015. I've been updating it ever since. So you can find it on my Udemy profile, or if you go to bizanosa.com/sp, you're going to find the Mailchimp course. You're going to find the Mailchimp link. So if you want to upgrade this, go ahead and upgrade. Okay, if you don't want to, you don't have to. So if I click on finish, you see that I cannot send the broadcast because I haven't upgraded, and I don't want to really upgrade because I'm not going to use it for anything. Maybe for the landing page, there are certain things that I'm going to have to explain. For this one, not really. So if I come back here, you're going to see that it has been saved as a draft. So if you upgrade in future, you can just come back here and edit it and send it right away. Or if you want to create another one just like it, you can come here and duplicate this one. Or if you want to delete it, you just click on edit and delete. If you want to edit it, just click there to edit it, and you can send it if your account is upgraded. That's all about broadcasts. It's all about creating the broadcast, learning how to design the template. And if you want to change anything in your template, you can just go back and edit it however you want. You can add any of those blocks, images, HTML, anything you want to add inside of it, you can add. So this has been a pretty long video, and for that reason, in the next couple of videos, what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide those videos into sections that continue from the previous one. So instead of doing a full video about landing pages, I'm going to create short videos that in the end will teach you everything about landing pages. And that's much easier to watch. Even for me, I know when it comes to editing, I don't like to edit long videos. Okay, so that's it for this video. In the next video, we're going to start looking at landing pages, and in the landing pages section, I'm going to divide the videos into shorter videos just to make it easier for you to watch. So I will see you in the next video. Hello and welcome. So before we go into landing pages, in the last section I saw something about how to create segments in your list, in your subscribers list. So I'm going to create a segment. I'm going to show you how to create segments in this video before we move into landing pages. So before I even do that, let me come into one of my forms here so that I can add some dummy email addresses, because I don't have any email addresses to work with. So if I come into my lists, so when you click on subscribers, it usually shows you the list of all the email addresses of people who've signed up in all your forms. So if you have different forms, then you're going to have all of the forms that the different people have signed up on listed here, but everyone is going to get listed on this page. If you want to create segments, you're going to have to choose the kind of segment that you want to build. You can have active, you can have cold. I haven't sent any email for me to have cold subscribers. I don't have people who've unsubscribed, so it doesn't show me anything here. And if you have failed email addresses, these probably are email addresses which are not real addresses. Like most of these that I've added here are not real addresses. If you want to create segments, you're going to choose the segment, let's say active, because all these are active, and then list. You can choose the list, like maybe you want to create a segment for this. You can just see which list is there, but right now there's none. Maybe you want one. Let's say you have a landing page, and for that landing page, you want to create a segment for it, so that when you get new subscribers on that landing page, it doesn't mix with all the rest. You can choose that here, but for me, this is a list that at least has people. And then you can also choose the form. You don't have to choose everything here. Like for example, you don't have to choose that. You can leave that, and then you just come here and choose a form. Okay, maybe you want to choose a landing page. You can choose a landing page. I don't have any landing pages as of yet, but you can choose a landing page. So maybe you want to create a segment that has list from a certain form and list from a certain landing page, or you want to target specific email address for whatever reason, and last contacted. Maybe you want to talk to people that you spoke to less than 30 days ago, or people that you last contacted like a year ago. So maybe you want to reactivate an email list, and you want to create people. You want to send an email to people that have been on your list for some time, but you haven't sent them an email. You can create a segment for that, or less than. You just find people who've been on your list for less than 30 days or less than whichever number of days. Okay. And you could say last engaged, right? Like when did they interact with you? And you can add filters for this. So maybe you have a first name, you want to target people named John, named Jane. You can just add the name there and you'll create your segment. So at least this has something. I'll just remove that and then you'll save the segment. So let me just call it new seg and then save the segment. And you'll see that it's saved up here. So if I click on it, it should show me the list of subscribers in that segment. So if you want to see people in your segment, you just click on the segment and you can see all the other people in your other segment. So maybe you want something that has all your list. You can even save this as all and just save that. So if I click on seg, it will show me the segment. If I click on all, it shows me all my lists, all my subscribers. So that is how you can create a segment in Mailmunch. So in the next section of videos, I'm going to start looking at landing pages. And then after landing pages, we're going to see how you can work with the Mailmunch WordPress plugin. So I will see you in that video. Hi, and welcome back to this section where I'm doing Mailmunch updates. I've already done a video about broadcasts. So if you want to learn how to create broadcasts, go and watch that video. And then I also did a video on how to create segments with your subscribers. So if you didn't watch that as well, go and watch that. And the coming videos, I want to look at landing pages in Mailmunch. So just in brief, the first video about landing pages, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through how to create a landing page, and I'm going to go through the overview, just the step-by-step process, how to build, how to create the landing page until the end. And then after that, I'm going to do an in-depth tutorial on how you can create a landing page just by using this content as a sample. Okay, so I'm going to go inside of forms, and inside of forms, that's where we're going to create our landing page. You can also start by creating it here. If you're on the home page, you can just click there, but we are going to go into forms and then we're going to start creating our landing page. We're going to learn how to build the landing page. So I will see you in the next video, and in the next video we're going to start by looking at the overview of how you can create the landing page in Mailmunch. So I'll see you in the next video. In this video, I want to do an overview of landing pages in Mailmunch. Let me start by going into forms, and if you want to create landing pages, you're going to find them under forms. So here under forms, you'll see that we have create new, and you can create a new form under landing page. So these are some forms that I created in this tutorial, and you can see how all of them were created if you look at the videos. Landing pages will also be down here once you create your first landing page. So if you have landing pages, you will find them here. So let's start by creating a new landing page, and we're just going to do an overview of landing pages in Mailmunch. So to create a new one, just click on create and then landing page. And then of course, the next step is for you to choose a template. So I'll just choose this one. So if you watched the video on how to create broadcasts, then you're very familiar with this window. You can just do the same editing that I did in the broadcast. For example, let's say you want to create a landing page that has 2 rows, okay? So you can add the row in there, and then inside of the row, maybe you may want to add an image. Inside of this, you may want to add an image. Maybe it's a logo, or it's an image of the product, an image of someone using the product that you're trying to create awareness for. Maybe on this side, you may want to add text. if you want to add text, you can add text in there. And if you want to add, let's say, a pop-up on your landing page, you'll just bring in this HTML block and you can drop it anywhere. And inside of this HTML block, just put in your code in there. The code for any pop-up that you want to add, you can just add it in there. Or if you want to add a YouTube video, you can just use this and you add the YouTube video here. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And I'm going to add this video when I get to creating a landing page. So as I said, this is just an overview of how to use the landing page, how to create a landing page in Mailmunch. If you want to add a button, I showed you how you can add a button. So you can add your button in there and edit the button in any way that you want. So that's just how to work with the editor here. So if you know how you want to design your landing page, then you're just going to come in here and add anything that you need to add. If you want to add the form, you see, we already have a form, but you can add another form. And then inside of your form, you can choose the fields that you want. Maybe you have a name, you can add the name there. So let's say maybe you want to make the button, you want to make this button full width. What you'll do, you'll just scroll down until you see the section of button, and you can increase the width here so that it can be full width. And if you want it to be wider, you'll just find padding, anything about padding. You'll just find space about padding, and you can increase the padding, and it is going to make this huge. Now you can also change the text, and to change this text, you can just edit that in there. Okay, so that is how you'd edit this. And if this form wasn't here, this is how you'd add another form if you want to add another form. And if you want to edit this form such that it is some kind of a long registration, you can just click on it and add the fields. So here we have the email field. You can add any other field. You can create a new field if you want. Okay, you can create a new field. Maybe you're creating a long registration for people, then you can use any of this. And if you don't need that, you'll just delete it and move on to the next thing. So that's basically how you can work around here. And if you watched the video about broadcasts, you know that this is a very easy thing to do, and you can do that yourself by just playing around with all this content and getting the design that you desire. So in the next process, that's when you're going to create the thank you. Maybe you want somebody, once they sign up, you want to give them something, or you want to tell them a thank you. That's what you'll do in the next process. And let's just say save and continue. So something I didn't tell you is that this is your logo. You can change it. This is just an image. You can change it to use your actual logo. All right. You can use your own web page as the thank you page. So you see here we have redirect. So you can redirect this to go to your own web page. Okay. So once you create the landing page, you can just use your own thank you page. So if you want to use your own web page, you can use your own web page. If you want a thank you page, you can just create something there and edit it. Maybe you want people to access a specific download link. You want them to access a download link as soon as they sign up. So you can just add a button here. You can just add a button that will have the download for whatever you want to give them. If maybe it is a course, and this is, let's say for example on Udemy, you're giving out a coupon. So you can add the link to the Udemy course right there, the link that has the coupon. So that's one way that you can use this landing page, or you can just use it to say thank you for signing up. Just thank you without having any button or any link or any download. That entirely depends on your workflow. Like, you want people to sign up, and what next? Okay, So that's entirely up to you. Maybe it's a webinar that's upcoming and you're just telling people to sign up. So once you create the thank you page, you can just save it. And then I'll just click save and continue so that we can go to the next step. And then the next process, you just need to add information about the page, like maybe the title. So let's say that's going to be my title, and that's what I'll put there. And then the page URL. So this is the link that you're going to share with people so that they can get access to this landing page. If you want to use your own domain, this is going to be a premium feature. You won't be able to add a custom domain until you upgrade. So you will just use this. The link for this is going to get generated based on this. And then you need to choose the list. Which list do you want people who sign up on your landing page? Which list do you want to add them to? Okay, so if you have different lists, make sure you choose the correct list so that they don't get mixed up. Or you can even create a new list entirely for your landing page. And this is also a premium feature. And if you want to get notified every single time somebody subscribes, then you can turn this on. And that's it for this part. So let me just save and continue. So this is just like with forms, okay? While we were looking at forms, you saw me integrate with Mailchimp, and I also integrated with GetResponse. So this is the same thing. So if your account is already connected, you can just send your subscribers to Mailchimp, and you can use the Mailchimp automation to maybe send some kind of automation to your new subscribers. Maybe you want to tell them something every week. You want to get them to buy something from you. You can use the Mailchimp automation, which is nowadays is free to everyone. In Mailchimp, if you're on the free plan, you can send a maximum of 12,000 emails every month, and the maximum subscribers that you can have is 2,000 subscribers. So if you want to connect with Mailchimp, yeah, you can do that here, and that will ensure that every subscriber that comes into Mailmunch will also get exported into your Mailchimp list, the list that you choose here. So if you have an account that you've connected, just choose that account, and then you're going to choose the correct list to use, and then you're going to match the fields. Okay, like if an email, you're going to match it to an email. If you have a first name, you're going to match that to a field in your Mailchimp list. If you don't know how to do this, you can go back to the sections on how to create forms. I did very intensive videos about that. So that's it for this part. Let's just save and continue. So you see, you can publish your landing page, and I would need to upgrade this because I'm using this feature. So let me go back, and I think it's not there. Was it here? Yes, this feature. I can just turn that off and then save and go into publish. And now you see, just like that, your landing page is ready. If you want to get people to join your landing page, you can now start sharing this link, and I'll just copy the address, and you see it brings up my landing page. So of course I haven't designed it yet, but this is how yours would work if you edited yours. So you see, you cannot use a custom domain, but if you upgrade your account, you'll be able to use a custom domain. So we are here on publish. You can tweet, you can share this link on Facebook, you can even market this, you can even create an ad about this on Facebook. So let me just publish, and if I publish my landing page, you'll find it down here. So that's pretty much it for this video. Okay, in this video we've just taken a look at how to work with the Mailmunch landing pages. All right, so I will see you in the next video. Hi and welcome back. So in the last video, we looked at this overview of landing pages, and I'm just going to delete this because it was just a brief overview. And in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a landing page from scratch, and I'm going to use the content on this page to help me with that. So I'm going to use this video. I'm also going to add a sign-up form, an opt-in form on the landing page, and I will add some of these texts. And if you want to create your landing page looking exactly like the one that I'm going to build, then you start following along with me. And if you want to create landing pages, you're going to have to come into forms. So if you're not already here, just click on forms and then click on create landing page. And the next step, of course, is you're going to have to choose a template. So I'll just choose this one. Before I even go any further, you can see that this is going to be the width of my landing page, and I don't want this to be the width. So I will go inside of body and I will change this because I want it to be 960. Okay, I can't get that, so I can use 950, and I'm going to design it my own way. Of course, I'm not going to have the form looking like this. So the next step that I want to do before I end the video is I'm going to change this logo, and I'll just click on it, then click on upload image, and there we go. Now that's my logo up there. You can add your logo if you want to or not. Since this is a landing page, it's up to you to decide whether you want your logo up there or not. And then I want to add a row up here, and then I'm going to move this inside of that row, and then I'm going to end the video after that, and we'll continue from there. So I'll come into rows, and I want to add a certain kind of row here. And the row that I want to add is one whereby I will have a video on this side and I will have the form on this end. I'll just drag this here, and I'm going to have a video here, and I'm also going to have my form on this side. So let me just drag the first thing here, which is this content. So I'll drag this one in there first of all, and you can see it's not visible, and that is because the text is white and the background is white. So I'm going to fix this later on, just bear with me. And the next thing that I want to drag in here is this form. So I'll just bring the form in there. You can also see the form has lost its background, and we are going to fix that. And then here I'm going to add a video. Okay, so just hold on, I will do that in the next video. So in this video, what we've done, we've just started designing our landing page, and we've said that we're going to have a video on this end, and we're going to have the opt-in form on this side, because it's very important for people when they come in, they just see the opt-in form, so that if they want to join right away, they can just join without scrolling down. So you need to add the call to action at the top, so that it is visible above the fold line. The fold line, that is a line whereby you don't have to scroll to see anything. Everything above the fold line will be visible without scrolling. So that's the point of this landing page. You're going to have the call to action up here. Any other elements, maybe you want to add more text, you can add them below. But most importantly, you're going to have a form at the top so that people can just sign up without having to scroll. So that's it for this video. I will see you in the next video when we continue from here. Hi and welcome back. So in the last video, we started designing our landing page, and in this video, let's continue from here where we left off. And in this video, let me add a video here, and I'm going to add this video. First of all, let me just open it on YouTube so that I can add the embed, so that I can get the embed code. So I'll just click on share to embed to get the embed code, and here's the embed code. And the first thing I want to do is I want to remove suggested videos at the end of this video. So I'm going to copy, and I can just add it here. And one thing that you have to know is when you add the video here, you're going to have an issue whereby the video is not responsive, meaning that it's going to overflow into the elements which are this side, and I'm going to fix that later on using CSS. So let me add this HTML element in there, and if I click on the HTML element, I can add my YouTube video right in there. And once I do that, the video will get embedded here. Now you can see the video is not going all the way to this side, but if this was a smaller screen, it would go this way, and we're going to make sure that the video is responsive regardless of the screen size that someone is viewing this on. So the next thing I'm going to do is I want to make the background of this area black, and the reason that I'm doing that is because the changes that I'm going to make in this video is going to have some padding at the top which will be black, and here will be black. So I want to make the entire top black, and that's going to give us the text content here, and it's also going to make this black, but I'm going to show you later on how you can use CSS to make this any color that you want. Now I'll just click on this element, and if I come down here, I will see for row. I'll look for row, and I can click on row, and when I click on row, you're going to get this background color, and the background color, you can choose any color that you want here, but I want the color to be something like black. Okay, this looks black enough for me, so I'm going to leave it like that, and I'm going to say done. And also with this text, you can choose how you want it to be. If you want it to be aligned to the left, which is how I'm going to leave it. And don't worry about this. You can see it's cutting. It's not showing you everything, but when you view this, when you preview this, it's going to be okay. And then the next thing that I want to do is I want to make the button full width. Okay. So if I click on this button and I come all the way down to where it says button, I will find this and I can just drag it to make the button full width. Okay. So just note that I'm going to make this text and this, I'm going to make them, I'm going to make it red. Okay. It's very important that the call to action is clearly visible. So I'm going to give it a background of red, and that will make sure that this is very visible and it can clearly be seen. This video as well, if you want to make this video to autoplay, how you'll do that, you'll just come here into your embed code and after rel. So this is the one that makes sure that at the end of the video, there are no related videos. So if you want to make sure it autoplays, you're just going to add and autoplay is equals to 1, and that will make sure the video autoplays if you want it to autoplay. And what I mean is this, autoplay is equals to 1. And if I add this, it's going to make sure my video autoplays. So when people go into your landing page, your video is going to start autoplaying. But because I don't want this to happen for me every time that I'm viewing this video, here, I'm going to remove the autoplay, but that's how you can do it. And also, if you want to make sure that the video autoplays, but it autoplays in the mute mode so that you don't make noise for people when they land on your page, you can just add and mute is equals to 1. So if you add this, this will make sure that when somebody comes onto your landing page, the video will autoplay and it will be muted. But this only works on the desktop. I haven't seen it work on mobile phones. If you want it to autoplay on desktop versions, then just add autoplay and mute it if you want to mute it. So I'm going to remove this too. One thing that I want to do before I even deal with any of this, I'm going to try to go all the way to publish so that we can publish this, so that at least we can have something to preview it. I wish they had a way to preview this before going all the way through. So I'm just going to come all the way here. So let me edit this first of all, at least, before I can create and publish the page. So let's say I edit it, and here in editing, this is where we're going to add a button for people to join the course. Okay, so right now I can just come here and inside of content, I'll just add a button and I will deal with that later on. For now, let me just leave it as it is. And then I'll go all the way to publish. And I know I still need to have this, but at least now we have this, and we can use this to preview our landing page, which is important. So you can see this is what we currently have, and we're going to make it better. Just wait, we're going to make it better. We're going to have a title down here, and we're going to have this call to action here, which is way more visible. We're going to have it with a red background so that it is visible. Okay, we don't want something that is not visible. What's the point of having something that people can't see? And this is a landing page. So that's it for this video. I will see you in the next video, and in the next video what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, I'm first of all going to make this video responsive. Let's say that I reduce it. Let me see if there's a way I can see. You see what we have here? This is what I don't want. This is what I don't want. This is colliding with this, and I don't want that. So I'm going to give this video responsive. I'm going to make it responsive in the next video. So I will see you in the next video when we continue from here. Hi, and welcome back to this video. And in this video, what I want to do is I want to make this video responsive so that the video can resize itself based on the screen upon which it is being viewed. So if somebody is viewing it on a mobile phone, then the video will need to resize accordingly based on that mobile phone. And then if someone is viewing it on a tablet or on a laptop, we want to make sure that the video is not getting cut off. So what I mean is, when I go down like that, you see, we have this colliding with this. If I continue all the way down, you're going to see that the video gets cut off. Okay, we don't want this situation. Let's say maybe this was an interview of you and some people. One person on this end will get cut off, and that's something that you don't want. So we're going to make this video responsive, and we're also going to give this a background of red because we want this element to be clearly visible because it is a call to action. You want to make sure that your call to action is very visible as soon as somebody lands on your page. So I'm going to come back here, and this is currently the code for this YouTube embed, and I'm going to use this to make it responsive. So this is courtesy of thenewcode.com. So I'm going to adapt this for Mailmunch so that it can work on Mailmunch. So the idea here is, instead of adding this directly, we put it inside of a div, and then we give that div a class, and then we style that class using this CSS. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this entire thing and then copy. Then I'll come back and I'll paste the whole thing. And of course, it's not going to work right off the bat because this is CSS and this is HTML. So what I'm going to do is I need this to be passed as HTML. So I'm going to add the style tags. So when I add this, it's going to make sure that everything that I put inside of here will be passed as CSS. Then I need to close the style tag. And once I close this, just like that, our video is now responsive. So if I go to the next step and I come back here and I'm going to the next step so that it can save, and if I come here and I refresh the page, you're going to see that our video is now responsive. So if I reduce the size of this, you can see that the entire video is visible. The entire video is visible, and there is no point where these two are going to collide. And that's very important for your design as well, because if someone is viewing this on a tablet, this and this would collide if your video is not responsive. And one thing that I may have mentioned is that the reason why I made this black, the background black, is because when I use this CSS to make this responsive, normally there is some black padding that comes up here. Okay, so there's a black padding. If I start to play the video, you're going to see the black padding, and this is just a way for me to mask that. And This was a contemplative solution that I thought about when I knew that I was going to use that CSS. So you can add it or not. It doesn't really matter. I bet people are used to seeing it. Even you, I bet there are certain videos you've seen whereby there's a small black spot just right here when you start playing the video, and that's just padding. Okay, it doesn't really matter that much. You can make this background whatever you want, as long as you don't care about the blackness, that is the black color that comes here. Now the next step is for me to make this red. I want to change the background of this to red so that it is very clear. As soon as somebody comes on this page, I want them to see that this is where the form is. You click there, you will join the course. You put in your elements, you'll join the course. If you want your conversion rates to increase tremendously, you'll need to remove this. Okay, you just have the email field there. When you have the email field, your conversion rate definitely goes higher. People will just type in the email, join the course. The way that I want to make this background red is using CSS. So I'm going to add the CSS. If I come back here, I'm going to add my CSS inside of the same element where we added the embed code. So we're going to use this as a place whereby we can add our custom CSS. Okay, you can create another HTML element, but I'm just going to use this one because what's the point of adding another one? Well, I can just use this one. So I'm going to use my browser debugger to know the selector for this entire element, and then I'm going to change the color, the background color, to red. Okay, so if you know CSS, if you know even a little bit of CSS, okay, you don't even have to know CSS. You can just see what I'm doing and follow along. So like I'm using the Opera browser, and if you're not using Opera like me, you're probably using Chrome or Firefox, Safari. Just inspect the element. Okay, and I want to select this entire area here. Now that's not the one. Okay, you can see that is this one. Then this is the one that I want, and you can see that it selects this entire column. Now I want to style that column, and the way that I'm going to do that, you can see it's even named here as column 4. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new element. I don't want to use the same element. I'm going to add a new element because that color is going to be consistent throughout, regardless of the screen size. Okay, you can see here, this one affects screens which are 767 pixels and above, but I want mine to only affect any screen regardless of the size. So the selector here, this is an ID selector, and I want to add a background of red. So background color, there we go. And I want to use the hexadecimal color system, and red usually is RGB, so that's going to be R is going to be F, and then we're going to have 00, and that's red. So just like that, you can see our background, our form is red like we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, because if I leave this here, it doesn't really matter, because as soon as I reload this page, this is going to disappear. But if I copy it and I bring it into part of my CSS here, Control V, you can see the color is changing to red, and that's what we want. So if I click done, so this is not the end of the CSS things that we are going to do in this video. There is something else that I'm going to need to do with CSS, and I think you can already see it. If you look at this, you can see that it is too much. It is too close to this one. I will find a way to reduce this so that we can have some space in between the two elements. If you like the space the way it is, then you can leave yours like this. Okay, so that's what we had set out to do in this video, to make this responsive and to change the background color of this. So if I come here and I go to the next step, so that at least you can save it, and then I come back and I reload, you can see that it is now persistent. The color has been changed to red, and of course if somebody comes here, they'll definitely know that this is the call to action, and this is way visible than what we had in the beginning. All right, so in this video what we've done, we have made this responsive and we have changed the color of this. So using the same principle that I used in this video to change the color of this, you can use CSS in your landing pages in the same way that I did. Okay, you just bring your CSS inside of an HTML element, and then you add them in using the style tags. Okay, you put them within the style tag. If you put it within the style tag, then the CSS will get passed as CSS. Otherwise, it will just be like text element. So you have to add the style tags to make sure that your CSS is read as CSS. That's what passing means, just reading it as CSS. Okay, that's pretty much it for this video. So let's continue on in the next video, and we are almost done with this. This was the most complicated part in this tutorial, and the next part will be very easy, just adding text elements. So I will see you in the next part, in the next video. Hi, and welcome back. So in the last video, you saw how to make this video responsive and how to change the background color of this element using CSS. So the next step really is just coming in here, and I want to add this text down here. And I can see that this is already a row, but I don't care for this row. So I will delete it because I don't want it. I don't need it based on the design that I have in my head. And then I will just come in here, and I want to add this text content. I want to add it on the left. Copy. And then once I add it on the left, I want to add another image right on the right side of it. And then after that, I'm going to add another form below, just so that we can have another call to action. You don't want a situation whereby people scroll down, they read all that, and then they still have to come back. At least you need to add another form down there so that people don't have to come back up to sign up if they like what they can read. So you can make yours as short as, you can make your landing page as short as you want, or as long as you want, as long as at least you have a clear way for people to opt in. So this is very important, the opt-in part. So I will add a row. Which row do I want? I want a row which is equal on both sides. And I'm going to add text on this side, and I'm also going to add an image on this side. So if you don't want the image, you can make this a full row and just have your text without really having to add the image. It's really not serving any purpose except for just adding an image here. If you have images, you can add as many of them as you want. Maybe people using the product, you can add as many of them as you want. Now I'm going to come into content, and instead of content, I want to add text here, and on this other one I will add an image. And of course, before I even do all of that, let me add a divider here. Okay, I don't want it there, I want it there. And then, so this divider will help add space. So you can make it as big as you want. Let me put it there at 26. And then I want it to have no line. So if you want it to be like a way to separate your element, you can make it something that is thick, and then you change the color. You change the color if you want to. You see, you can design yours using these elements which are here, but I don't care much for that. So I'm going to remove mine and make it, and remove the line completely. And then I'm going to duplicate this. And once I duplicate it, I want to drag one to the other side, another one to this side, so that we can have the same spacing between them. Now here inside of text, let me come here, and I want to copy all of this text, copy. And as I told you, if you want to copy element such that you don't bring it with a style, you see now, if I copy this, it's going to come with the style on my website. I don't want that. So if your browser is like mine, you can copy as plain text, Or if it is not like mine and you are on Windows, you can open Notepad, paste in everything in there, and then copy everything again and then paste it. And if you are on a Mac and you don't have Notepad, you can use text edit and just change the preferences of text edit to plain text. And once you do that, you can paste in any element inside of text edit, copy it, and it will automatically strip out all the CSS that comes with whatever you pasted in there. Now, of course, I'm going to change this into bold, increase the text. Let me make it 34 and I'll make it bold. It's very important you don't add any links inside of your landing page. Any unnecessary links, don't add any links. It is detrimental to the function of a landing page. Okay, you don't want people clicking to go anywhere else when they are on your landing page, unless that is intended. So now I've added this, right? Some people will want to read this, some people won't care. That's why this is up here. They can watch the video or they can just join immediately. So if yours is a PDF and it is not a course like mine, you can even add an image here. You don't have to add a video. You can add an image if yours is a PDF or you're just giving away an ebook. You can see this is already pushing things down. So if you don't want this, you can just remove it and then you add maybe a list of items, what people are going to learn, just 3. You summarize and you add 3 things down here with a heading, and you can see my video is taking too much space. So if you want to reduce that, you can reduce that. And then I'm going to show you how you can add more space and the video is going to get reduced. So you can add the title here, there, like free Bluehost tutorial, and then what they're going to learn. Summarize 3 things and add them there. And then on this side, you can add reviews. If people have given you reviews in the past, okay, and you have screenshots, you can just add those screenshots here, or you can add them as text with the images of people. So let me just do like one example here. If I add an image, of course, first of all, I need to tell people what exactly is this. So you can add it here or you can add it below this. It's entirely up to you. It doesn't really matter how you add it, because the elements that come after this, most of the times they don't matter. The most important things are usually above the fold line. So let's say I click on this and then I add an image, right? Maybe that's my image. So there you go. You can have your image in there. Maybe that's an image of somebody who gave you a review, okay? But for me, I'm just going to add this one image here. And if this was a review, maybe what you can do, you can add an image here, the review on this side, another review there, image there, or image there, review here. This is something you can do considering you know how to use the rows and the columns in the Mailmunch editor. Now, the last thing that I want to do in this landing page is I'm going to add this sign up. I'm going to add it down here, okay? And that is going to get us closer to finishing this landing page. So I will see you in the next video when we continue from here. All right, so let me save this by going to the next step. So if I reload this, let me see how everything is coming along so far. So maybe you can combine a bunch of images, just showing people using the product, or if it is something, if it is a recipe, you can combine a bunch of images that look like this. This one you stack one below it, so that when you upload it here, it will look like one long image that will span all the way down. So you can design yours in the most beautiful way that you want. This is one image. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pause the recording for a moment, and then I'm going to go into Photoshop and I'm going to combine a bunch of images that look like this, so that I can get an image which is a portrait image that spans all the way down. So if I come back here and let me go back into design, this is the image that I've stacked up just for the purpose of this demonstration, and I just want to see how it's going to appear when I use it as my image. So if I come here and I click on upload, and I will select it, and there we go. So let me go to the next step, save it so that I can see how it's going to appear on the main landing page. So if I reload this, you can see you can do something similar. So if you have a bunch of images, maybe different people that are using a particular product that you're trying to create awareness for, then you can stack a bunch of images related to that product so that you can have one long image that will work for your scenario, like I've done here. I want to add another form down here. So you can do anything you want with your landing page. Like you can see mine doesn't have a title. Let me just do that right now. If I come into design, I want to add the title, and the title that I want to add is this one. Copy. And if I come back here, I can just add a text element. Let me go into content, and I will choose text, and I will add it there. So before I even do that, let me change the color of the text to white. And then of course I want to increase the size of this. Let me make it, I can make it 36 pixels, and I can make it bold as well. So once I add this heading here, so down here I want to add a form. I want to add another form, and I want to add this form. So if I want to add another element down here, I'll first of all have to go inside of row. And how do I add this form? Because if I use one long one, it's going to give me a pretty long form, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, so I can drag that down there. Okay, finally it's there. Now, what I want to do is I want to add a form on this side, and I want to add some text on this side. So the text that I want to add, let me just copy this. Let me add that in there. Paste as plain text. Then on this side, I'm going to add the form. I will just drag the form in there. Let me change the button join now, and then I want the button to be full width. Let me click on draw. When I hover and I click on draw, I can change the background to something different. Let me change the background to something that is close to red. Then I'll change the color of this, change the color to white. So if you have anything else to add beneath this, you can do that. And then of course, there's something I don't want here. I don't want these labels. I will come into my form. If I click on the form and I click on email field, I can click on show label or don't show label. So when I uncheck it, it's going to remove the label, and that's something that I want. I mean, I could do something more with this, but yeah, I'm just going to leave it here for your imagination. If you want to add anything else, you can do whatever you want. You can add text above it, but I've decided to add the text on this side so that this side doesn't become empty. And you can add some kind of footer element down here. So let me save this so that you can preview it. And if I come here and I reload, and there we go, that's my landing page. You can add spacing as much as you want. You can see here, I could add some space. There, we finally have this, and since Mailmunch wants everyone to know that you're a freeloader, then they're going to add this down here. So, of course, this is not going to show up if you've upgraded your account. This is only showing up for you if you're on the free plan. Okay, so another thing, maybe you can add some spacing down here. This is not really working well with Mailmunch all showing me this. So if I come here into row, and since I can't scroll down, I'll just add it there. And scroll down, and then I'm going to drag it. You know what? This video is becoming too long for me. So I will see you in the next video. And in the next video, we're going to end this section on Mailmunch. I'm just going to work on adding that space here. And then after that, I'm going to show you how you can add space between this and this using custom CSS. So we're going to come back here and we're going to add our CSS in here like we did for this one. So I will see you in the next video. Hi and welcome back. So the next step is I want to try to add the space down here. So I can add that there. And I just want to add spacing. So content divider. So I'm going to add the spacing for this. I want it to be, let's say 50. And then I'm going to duplicate it. And let me drag this one. You know what? I'll just leave it like that. I guess that's going to add spacing for everything that we need. So if I say thank you, and I just want to add some spacing down here, and you can see that did it. So that did it. Unfortunately, I'm still seeing this, but I showed you how to remove these lines. So if you just come back here and you click on this, and then you come to line, you make this 0, the line will disappear. Click on this one as well. There, the line will disappear. Thank you. So that we can save it, go back. So you can also see that here you may also need to add some space. Okay, so that's entirely dependent on you. If you want to add space here, go ahead and add space. Personally, I don't really care because this landing page is not going to be live. And the next thing that I want to do is I want to reduce the spacing here, and I also want to make this in line with this video. And I'm going to do that using our favorite friend, CSS. So I'm just going to start right away by selecting this element. Okay, let me inspect this element. Column 4. That's the row. Yeah, this is the one that you want, column 3. Now here in column 3, I want to reduce the width of this. You can see the width is 66 pixels and 66% when the screen is 768 pixels and above. So I'm going to have to copy this entire thing once I change the width. So let me change this to, let me say I make this 58%. Now 58% is now the current width of this, and you can see that pushes this element on this side, and that is evident based on the fact that this is not in line with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a margin right. This side is right? Yeah, so margin right. And I want to give it 58 minus 66, that's 8. So I want to give it 8% so that it can go all the way to this side. And that's going to give us some spacing here. So if you want to make it if you want to make the video even smaller, you can do that by just reducing this and increasing the margin on this side. Okay, so you cannot just copy this code to make it work for you. You're going to have to know the column with which you're working with, and you can see how to get the column using the inspector right here on your debugger. And I'm just going to copy this. Copy, and then I'll bring it here, and I want to make this the float left thing. We didn't change that, so that shouldn't matter. And width 58 mean that of course we have to add this, and we have to add this. So when I do that, you can see that this one comes down to the next line. Okay, this is how it's appearing here, but I know if I save this, let me just save it so that we can confirm the functionality on this page. So let me close this for a minute and I will just refresh my page. So if I refresh the page, and let me just try to play around with, this browser of mine to see how it is. So you can see everything just works out okay. Nothing is mixing up with any element. Nothing is colliding. You can see all these elements are still okay. And I've just realized that for this, you may have to bring this on this side and this one on this side, interchange the positions. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if I resize this any further to a point where things are starting to break down, you can see the image will be on top nicely, and then this will be down, and you can add space here. You can add space here on your design. If you just go to your design and you add space down there, you can add the divider, and that will give you spacing. And then if you come down, the reason why I'm saying that you need to interchange this is because you can just see that this ought to be above the form. And since this is on this side, then it means that it will fall down when the browser resizes down. And if someone is viewing this on a mobile phone, this is how it's going to appear for them. And this is not right. You ought to put this on the other side and this on the other side. Okay. So interchange the sides, the positions of these two. Or another alternative is for you to just have this here, and then you add another text up here that tells people join this free tutorial. And I can just copy this, copy, and then if I come back here, I can click on this. Let me go into content, and I want to add this. Okay. And once you do that, you can completely even remove this. You see, you just remove this. And if you want to add, actually this side you can add an image. This is a nice place to add an image. Or you can add some kind of a legal text, like we're not going to use your data without your permission. We're not going to share your data. If you have one of those business trust logos, you can add them here, like the Better Business Bureau. That's the BBBBB. So if you have any of those business trust seals, you can just add them here on your landing page. Okay, so that's it for this video. And in the next video, I just realized I forgot to cover this, and that is this. I want to make this in line with this. You can see they're not in line. In the next video, I'm going to use CSS to make this, to drop this just a little bit down so that it can be in line with this one. So I will see you in that next video. Hi and welcome back. So in this video, what I want to do is I want to make this go in line with this, and we're going to use CSS for this. And I want to add the CSS. So I'm going to add it inside here. So if I come here, I'm going to inspect the element, and by now you have found a way to do this depending on the browser that you're using. So I want this column to go down a bit. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to add a margin top. So margin top, let's see what 10 pixels is going to do. So 10 pixels, okay, 10 pixels seems to be about right. You can just play around with this to see what matches. Okay, maybe you have an image here and you want it to match with this. So this is how you will do it. You just select the element and then you add some kind of a margin. Then copy. Since I already have this in my CSS, in my custom CSS, you remember when I added this red color for this, it is the same element. So I'm just going to add that CSS inside there, which is here. Done. Go to the next step so that we can save it. And if I come back here and I reload, I will see that this is now in line with this, and that's what we want. Now, what else is remaining on this landing page? I mean, seriously, we have done all we can do for this landing page. And if you want to change anything for yours, go ahead and change something. Like you can add some text down here, or you can even bring this to be up instead of being down here. It's entirely up to you. Like this free, this is not motivating enough for someone to join. Maybe you can tell them, learn how to use Bluehost. You can phrase your heading the way that you want. You can even build, once you build this, you can duplicate it, change the heading, bring the heading up here just to see which one converts better. And by doing that, you're going to know which design is better for you to concentrate your time on. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to design my thank you page, okay? And I'm going to do that in the next video. Since the previous video was pretty long, let this one be a short video, All right, I will see you in the next video. And in the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to design this thank you page. I'm just going to add a button, and the button is going to have the link with this. So I will see you in the next video. So we are now in the thank you page, and you can have two alternatives. You can use this, or you can redirect people to a different website. Okay, you'll just add the link in there. But for my case, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to edit this. And if I click on edit, I will be able to edit my thank you page. And I want to add buttons, these buttons. I'm going to add these two buttons inside of that thank you page. So as soon as somebody subscribes, he or she is going to see two buttons, and is going to choose where they want to go and view the course, assuming that I was going to make this live. So I'm going to click on that. And the first thing I want to change is that I need to put my logo. So I will go into business logo there, and I'll use that. And then while that one is uploading, I can just come here and I will change this. You know what? I'll just come here and copy this. Copy. If you want to change the text for this, select it and then paste in the element that you want to paste in there. It came with a CSS and we don't want that. So what's happening here? Okay, I can't do two things at the same time. Let me wait for this to finish uploading. The first thing, the button. I'm going to paste it in by removing the styles. Sign up on Skillshare. Let me make this button green. I will make it green. But first, let me take the link, copy link address, and then I'm going to paste the link in there. Then the button background color, let me make it some form of green, right? And then the hover color, yeah, let me make it another shade of green. And if you want to increase the font size, select that and make that 20. And then I'll duplicate this button. And the text, copy that, bring that in here. Paste as plain text. Then the second button, copy. Then I will come here and I will select everything, and then I will paste as plain text. Sign up on Udemy, and Udemy, let's make it red. So that's it for this button, and that's it for the thank you page. That's it. You sign up. It will bring you to this page. Once it brings you here, you can join on Skillshare or join on Udemy, but I haven't added the link. So I will come here and copy link address. And once I copy, I can just paste. I can just paste in the link in here. Then I'll click on done, and then I'll save changes, and that ought to do it for our thank you page. So if you already have a page that you want to use for this, you can just click there and then add in the URL. For me, this is good enough for the thank you page. As soon as somebody subscribes, they use the form on my landing page, it's going to bring them here. Just the same way it works with forms, and you've seen this in forms. And then we're going to save and continue so that you can see what this information thing is about. Now, of course, you can see here when you hover, look at the title that you're getting. Let's choose this, control, copy, and then write title of the page. So this is what is going to appear when I hover. You can see it's not going to be that HTTPS page, whatever. It's going to be this. And then the page URL, we've already generated this, so we don't really care. But we know that since we are on the free plan, we are going to be using page.co, just like it is here. And if you want to add a custom domain, you're going to have to upgrade, okay? So let me say I click on add domain. There, okay? So first of all, I'm going to have to upgrade. This is a paid feature at wahowa.com, and I don't know, is it possible for me to just use this without having to add a subdomain? Let's see. Okay, there's an issue. So in that case, what I can do is I'm just going to add www, and that will bring us this. Let's see what happens next, because I don't know whether this can work if I'm on the free plan. Let's just continue on and see where it leads us. All right, so added new domain. And okay, so the Cname record has not been added. Okay, so I can just fix this very easily. Okay, you can see as soon as you say fix, it needs you to upgrade. So let's continue on with this in the next video. Okay, but for now, let me come back here and I want to see what else we have. So active list, you have to choose a list. All right, you need to choose a list whereby when people subscribe on your landing page, they will be taken. When they sign up on this form, they need to be taken somewhere. You can choose one of the lists that you already have here. And that's pretty much it for this. Okay, so we'll just save and continue. The next step is integrate. If you have accounts on any of these other platforms, you can just come here and integrate with them, so that when you sign up, when people sign up, they will be added to your lists on Mailchimp or your list on GetResponse, Aweber, ActiveCampaign, any of this. And you know how to integrate with Mailmunch and GetResponse, because I did a video about that while we were looking at forms. If you already have one integrated account, you can just choose it from here, or you can add new. So in my case, I don't really care about integrating. I will just save and continue. And of course, we are done publishing this page. So that's pretty much it for this section of landing pages. Okay, we have built the landing page. We have seen how you can use custom CSS. You've seen me add a video here. So this video, if you want to add a Vimeo video, I used YouTube, but if you want to add a Vimeo video, vimeo.com, then you can just go and get your embed code from Vimeo, and then you come and add it here. And in the same way I made this video responsive, you're going to do it in a similar manner. You'll just change the iframe. You'll just change the iframe that I added for my YouTube video, and then you're going to add yours from Vimeo. Here's the link. Okay, so you take this link, and you share it everywhere, on Facebook, on Twitter, on your Instagram account, your profile page. You can add this link there, tell people, hey, sign up, there's something amazing coming up, sign up. And if people come to your page, they can read all this, they can watch the video, and they will join using this form. And when they join, what happens? They will get the thank you page. And on my thank you page, the workflow, the process is such that when you sign up, you get the option to join the course on Skillshare or on Udemy. And both buttons are there with both links. So that's pretty much it for this section for landing pages. In the next video, I'm just going to show you how you can add this thing about, you can add the Cname Records. I thought about upgrading the account, but then I realized that this is something I can show you without really upgrading my account. As soon as I click on fix it, I'm pretty sure they're going to show me some Cname Records. And once I get the Cname Records, I'm going to add them to my domain registrar. So if your domain is registered on GoDaddy, your domain is registered on Namecheap, wherever your domain is registered, there is always a place where you can manage your domains. And in that place where you can manage your domains, you will go in there and add the Cname record. So I'm going to sign up into Namecheap in the next video, and I'm going to show you how you can add these Cname records. Okay, you just need to add some kind of a record, and it will redirect this. Where is it? It will redirect this to my domain. So you saw that it needs a subdomain for it to work. But since we are pretty smart people, we know that even www is a domain, and you can just use that instead of adding something like my new landing page or my new ebook.whatever.com. So you just use this. Maybe you've just bought a new domain for the purpose of this landing page. You can just add www instead of having to add something else there that's going to confuse people. Okay, the easier the better. So that's it for this video. And that's it for this section on landing pages. In the next video, what am I going to do? I'm just going to go into Namecheap. I'm going to log into my Namecheap account, and then I'm going to show you how you can add a new Cname record in your domain records. So I will see you in the next video.